So in number one, we were looking at taking our $6, that was our rate, divided by 4 6-packs. Okay? How much did that give us, Bergen? What you end up with? $1.50, and this is per 1 6-pack, right? 1 6-pack of pop. Okay? So, as we look at part B, it says, okay, we want to write an equation for the relationship between the number of 6-packs and the cost. The cost, or your Y, depending on which variable, was equal to, Greta, what? 1.5, and then P for 6-pack, or 1.5x. Your quiz today is going to look a lot like this, where I give you a rate. You need to change it to a unit rate in order to write an equation, okay? So that's kind of the process you're going to go through. I had a lot of people not find the per 1 6-pack. They wanted to do per $1. I don't want to know how many 6-packs per $1. I want to know how much per 1 6-pack. You got to be careful. So it says, well, what about the 15? And you guys didn't have questions, but how do I find 15? I would take the 1.5 times 15, and that's going to give me my cost. And so on the quiz today, you're going to show this for your work. And then this one says, well, what about if you spend $210? How many soda pops or how many 6-packs did you buy? So you're going to still go back to that equation. Y equals 1.5x. But this time, the $210, is that my x, Noah, or my y? It's the y. So I'm going to put 210 equals 1.5x. What do I have to do, Adam, to solve? Right, so in this case, I took 1.5 times 15 to get my answer. Here, we're going to take 210 and divide it by 1.5. Now, this is almost the same in number 2, and your guys' class didn't put up any questions on 2, 3, 4. Remembering that up in front is where we want to put those questions, okay? So the other class had questions on these. Do I need to look at 2, 3, or 4 with you guys?
No. Wait, so on question 2A, when you did like 1.25 times 2.5.
Because we had this equation, right?
Yeah. It equaled like 3.12 or something.
Yeah, 3.125.
Yeah, so how do I know what I'm done?
So we're talking about money, right?
Yeah.
So we want to go to the nearest cent.
So I would just round it up.
So tell me, what did you get for your cost?
3.125.
3.125. So 3.13. They're going to charge you $3.13 instead of, because they're not going to charge you $3.125, and I would have taken either 12 cents or 13. Good question. But we're going to the nearest cent. So today on the quiz also, I had some people not think they should have a decimal. If you're dealing with money, you're dealing with pay, you're dealing with how much something costs, I need to the 1 cent, okay, to the hundredths place. Any other questions? So when you get that answer of $3.12, I should know how you got it. Meaning on the quiz today, I need to see this. When you're seeing $5, Natalie, what would I have done to find the $5? How much I spent? What would be my equation?
Would be 5 divided by 1.25.
Right, because I put this equation, 5 divided by 1.25f, right? And I'm trying to find that. And I'm actually dividing both sides by 1.25. Now, I had some people use proportions when they took the quiz. I'm okay with that. Just make sure you're showing your work. Okay? Any other questions? Yeah. Okay.
On number 4, would you?
Yeah, wait. Let's look at number 4. So here's number 4. And I was helping some people with this. If everyone had the same answers in their table as the back of the book. Any of you have that happen? Like you decided to pick the numbers and they were exactly the same? It's kind of weird. Because if I'm thinking about this at 56, 56 is saying, okay, if I go to 56, how much should that be? And I have one person say, you know what? I think it's 128. How many of you had 123?
I had 120.
120 would be okay. The reason everyone got the same answers at the back, which is kind of weird, is that you use the back. And that is okay. I get that. You misunderstood. But what this says, and because I had someone correcting someone this morning when they said, I got 128, or I got 120, or I got 130 for this number. They said, no, it has to be this answer. That's what's in the back. That's because that's their answer. But when I go to 108, right, and I go to 108, and this was 100, 108, and I go across and I go, 108, I think it's 50. Well, the back of the book had 49, right? So if you were looking at this being 100 and trying to find the point, you were trying to find this. And I am really happy if your numbers were close, but they shouldn't have had to be exact. Does that make sense to everyone? So that today when you're doing yours, I don't have one like this, but I just wanted you, it says complete the table from the graph. You were supposed to use the graph and come up with this, not just turn to the back and go, they have this number and this relationship when you took X and Y and took pounds, because that's what it tells us. Write an equation with the relationship of pounds and kilograms. Pounds per kilogram, right? And you found that when you divided a bunch of them, maybe you got 2.2, which was the answer they had. But maybe you had 2.15, that would have been okay. Or you had 2.24. I would have taken any of those. So
Or 2.
I would have even taken 2 for an answer, right? Because I was looking at your numbers, right? So that's what we are looking at as you do those, okay? Once you get this, it says write an equation. So now that you have the unit rate, y equals whatever number you had here. If it was 2 or 2.15 times x. And that's what I'm looking for on the quiz today, okay? And then you use it. And I will tell you that the answer for 4C was wrong in the back. It should have been 2.9. And the answer D was also wrong in that it should have been 79.20. Because this one is telling you the weight in pounds, which means this is what y equals 6.5. And if I go back to my equation, which was y equals, if you use 2.2 or you use 2.1 times x, that means you're putting in this for 6.5 for y equals 2.1x, and now you're dividing both sides to find x. Does that make sense? So Jordan, I would have 6.5 equals 2.1, right? Does that make sense, your equation, y equals 2.1x? If I look at this table, shouldn't kilograms always be less than pounds? So if I get 6.5 pounds, everywhere down this column, this is like almost half of it, it's a little less than half of this number. So 6.5, their answer of 14 doesn't make sense. What did they do? They thought of this as being x, not the y. Taking 2.2 times 6.5 would give you 14. The answer was wrong in the back. So,
could you do like k equals 2p?
yes, could you have your equation being k equals 2 times p for pounds? Yes, you could use that instead of the y and x. P for pounds, k for kilograms, right? Anyone else? George?
How would you find, which one would you choose out of those? Like, you have the 22.2 to...
Whichever one yours came out to be. I think in the back they used 2.2 for all of them. Sophie said she used 2. Someone else might have had 2.24.
So it could have been very different.
Right, it would vary on how, when you divided your pounds by kilograms and you found this was like the number that it always came out. Kind of like when we did, the other day when we did our kilometers with miles and we compared those two, right? Okay, so if you did not finish those, and then this one down here, this is what I want to make sure for you finishing this off, is that this is telling you 100 pounds. Pounds was which one, y or x?
Y.
So if y equals 100 pounds, I want to know what x equals, and I want to see the work. And on the quiz today, I ask you to show me the work. So the work is using that equation. So if your equation was this, Jordan, I would see this. And now I would see you replacing y with 100, right? And you doing the work and showing me what x is. This number over here, and I handed a couple people's back that decided to turn theirs in. Like they didn't show me, they just put an answer like it's in the back, which was not good enough. This one is saying, okay, x equals 100 kilograms. What is y? And again, you're using your equation. Okay, does that make sense? I want you to always use this equation. Only thing this time in your equation, you're replacing the x and you're going to find what y is. Okay? So, if you completed yours, awesome. I want you to make sure, if you didn't complete it, that you get that done tonight with the 5B. And 5B says, oh, she has $19.50 per 3 pounds. What is the cost per pound? That means dollars per, you're trying to find 1 pound. Some of you like to switch these two around and find per $1. I don't want to know $1. I want to know 1 pound. Okay? So, I am going to hand out the quiz right now.